What is the official death toll, Mr. President? How many people have died?
Well, it's still being worked on. Initially, we had some 50-something, but it's feared that it could be well over 100 people who have died. But the numbers are still being added up. By the end of the day, we should know. Thank you.
President Cyril Ramaphosa there basically saying the numbers are still being tallied, but it could very well be that more than 100 people have died. No, that's the situation here in KwaZulu-Natal. By the end of business today, we hope to get the official confirmation of the death toll, but it's not looking good. The president and his entourage now are visiting other family members of the people that have been affected by these floods. Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa, they're saying he has spoken to the finance minister in the country, Kodongwane, asking for more financial resources so that the province of KwaZulu-Natal could be assisted financially because they will need more help in dealing with this tragedy. He says it could be one of the worst disasters to ever hit the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and to such extent, it could be one of the worst disasters in the country as a whole here, as there are fears that dozens of people have passed away due to these devastating floods. So we will try and walk in front of the presidential motorcade for now because we won't be able to show you much as the president is engaging with community members here. But that is the situation on the ground. President Ramaphosa spending almost the entire day in eThekwini, which is one of the hardest hit areas in the province. There are 10 districts that have been affected, and Mpungundlovu is one of those, Umzinyati, Uku district, and then there is Ilembe district. So a number of districts across KwaZulu-Natal have been affected by this, and the number of people who have passed away will be confirmed later today, according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, but painting a very concerning picture that it's not looking good. The numbers could be very high.
Yeah, indeed, the numbers could be high. We'll have to wait a little bit for more official confirmation of the numbers as Pamandla. But also the president saying he's spoken to the Minister of Finance, saying that at all levels, government is not going to spare anything in dealing with this disaster.
Indeed, because each and every cent will be needed to be deployed here in KwaZulu-Natal. There is huge infrastructure that will need to be rebuilt. You are talking about assisting stranded residents here. About 60 families are accommodated inside this school, which is behind me. That tells you that many people have been displaced by these floods. But also the president touching on the issue there of climate change and the impact of climate change. You know, if I'm not mistaken, the United Nations Climate Change Agency has said before that eThekwini is one of those coastal cities that are under threat of severe flooding by 2050. So what we see happening currently is as a result of that. Of course, there are other factors at play, but we cannot rule out that possibility and the impact of climate change when it comes to flooding in KwaZulu-Natal. This is a province that experiences natural disasters, and if it's not a crippling drought, it's devastating floods. It rotates like that, brother, and I've seen it. I've covered this province for a very long time. If you are not covering drought-related stories, it will be flood-related stories. President Cyril Ramaphosa saying there could be no debate about the impact of climate change, and what we see happening currently in eThekwini and across KwaZulu-Natal could be linked to that as well. So the National Treasurer will have to release the emergency funds to help the province of KwaZulu-Natal in rebuilding the devastated economy. Not only the economy, but lives have been lost here. People will need to rebuild their lives, those that have been able to survive. So it will take weeks, months, or even years for the province to recover from this disaster.
Yeah, on the climate change impact, I mean, the president saying that it means that the disaster management plans now really have to be fast-tracked. That's the key, that's the core of his message, that it's no longer a case of if, it's a question of now we need to do more to make sure that we have a proper disaster management plan for the country.
I guess the question would be, what has the government of KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa learned from the previous natural disasters in the province, particularly in eThekwini? I covered the floods in 2019. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the very same thing, that the impact of climate change is severe and visible, that the disaster management teams need to respond accordingly, and that South Africa as a country need to do more in fighting climate change. But the question would be, what movement has been registered, if at all?
Yeah. Let's see. Can you manage to listen into what the president is being told there by one of the community members? As Pamandla, are you able to get closer there or not?
Let's try and get closer to that conversation that is currently happening there and see if we can be able to listen to what the president is saying. We'll try and just get to put on our mic there so that we could hear what the president is being briefed on. Sorry ngancane nje ngicela ungena uxolo nje. Kancane nje ngiyaxolisa kancane nje.
Sorry ngathi yini cause ngoba phela lento le okay uma ngithi ngiyabuka the boundary wall angisho ukuthi ngithini but mangibuka angisho uyisafe ngoba iphumile imphefumulo yasekhaya and then thina sinalutho asazi sokwenza njani. Mina I'm the grandfather of them. Kumanje bahlele ubala.
Yeah, into engicabanga ukuthi kudingakuyenza. Yebo. Okokuqala ukuthi senze i-team yethu. Ivela njengamanje eTho ukuhlangana kahle leyo. Bese sibhekisana ukuthi nesingayenza issue eyisikhala. Nawo eTho la ngicabanga ukuthi babusibande uzosala nama-officials. Ngicela u-HOD ukuze akwazi ukunginika nami-report. Nama-officials akametro akamasipala bakwazi ukuthi go through detail
nje baba ngoba uphendule nje mina noma sikusendele message
hayi ungakusendela usho ukuthi usho nje ukuthi it's about disaster uma kuji general kuba kuphendula uma ku general
ngibonele baba serious
Okay, well, there you have it. Basically, President Cyril Ramaphosa listening to community members who are briefing him about their challenges following this disaster. They are basically telling him what happened, and he's listening in. And the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, is also there assisting the President to listen and respond to some of the things that have been raised by community members. But basically, it's about their plight, their desperation following what has happened there. And the situation on the ground is not looking good. President Cyril Ramaphosa saying members of the South African National Defence Force will be deployed to KwaZulu-Natal to try and assist with rescue operations, mop-up operations, because he says this disaster is one of the worst disasters across the country there, President.
A lot of information, I'm sure, is being shared by community members who've suffered tremendously from this disaster. And the sentiment, as Pamandla by the president there, just want to recapture it, saying that other provinces are saying we want to help as well, help KZN currently in dealing with the disaster, but also the president appealing to us as South Africans, saying we need to hold hands together as South Africans in dealing with this disaster in KZN.
Indeed, he says all provinces and all South Africans need to hold hands and deal with disaster, try to assist the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Remember, it's not only KwaZulu-Natal that is prone to natural disasters. Whether you go to the Eastern Cape and other provinces, disasters are a common thing in South Africa. Today it could be KZN, tomorrow it could be another province. You will need to redirect all the resources that you have in trying to help out those provinces and people who are in need. So basically the president saying at least there is hope and comfort in that some provinces have agreed to release their resources to try and assist KwaZulu-Natal. Because remember, the South African government doesn't have enough money and capacity to solve all the challenges. While they are busy dealing with socio-economic challenges, now you have a natural disaster hitting the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is still trying to recover from the 2021 July unrest. They are still trying to rebuild the economy, the jobs that were lost there, and the number of people who died, if I'm not mistaken, more than 300 people died during those unrest. So on top of that, you have this disaster now with more than 100 people feared to have passed away following this natural disaster. Of course, the number could and will be higher than that once all the information and statistics have been tallied, and then they will be confirmed officially and formally by the relevant authorities. But President Ramaphosa, they're not painting a good picture, saying, well, things are not looking good on the ground. And the main reason it's taking a very long time to confirm all the statistics and the death toll is that police and health authorities, and they need to do all they can to process each and every body, go through the post-mortem, certify that death, and once that death has been certified by the police and relevant authorities, then it will be reported, it will be recorded as one of those deaths that is as a result of these floods. So you could even see days going by without the official confirmation of the devastating numbers of the death toll. That's the situation on the ground, not looking good, according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, and it's going to continue at least for the rest of the week, whereby authorities are busy with cleanup and mop-up operations across KwaZulu-Natal, not only in eThekwini, but the focus is in eThekwini because it's the biggest and the hardest hit district or region in KwaZulu-Natal following the devastating floods.
Yeah, the other point, Spamanda, the President mentioned was that at the national level, the government is busy with the final preparations to declare KwaZulu-Natal a disaster area. He mentioned that once that is ready, of course, that will be gazetted shortly.
Indeed, simply because it takes time for that to happen. For it, it's a process. It will be gazetted shortly, but it did confirm that KwaZulu-Natal will be declared a disaster area. There is no way that it will not be declared a disaster area. Let me tell you, brother, that I've spotted a gentleman from the Red Cross here. This gentleman is the manager responsible for the Red Cross in KwaZulu-Natal. Baba, siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Let's talk about what the Red Cross is doing. You've been with the president for the better part of the day. What is the Red Cross in KwaZulu-Natal doing to assist those who've been displaced by these floods?
Thank you very much. What we have been doing, first of all, we've had teams on the ground that were conducting assessments, confirming the damage as well as the fatalities. So after that, as there were people that were displaced, we then had teams that were providing relief for them. We've provided hot meals, we've provided blankets and mattresses for the displaced people that are kept in community halls. We are working very closely with the government disaster management, and we are conducting assessments jointly, and also we get allocations of the displaced people through them also, and then we allocate teams that are serving the relief to them.
Based on what you've seen on the ground, how bad and how dire is the situation?
The situation is quite disturbing. From what we have observed on the ground, we have seen fatalities, we have seen people's houses being totally damaged, and some were partially damaged. So we are learning of the situation that it's actually out of hand, and we are pleading with the public to support, to provide relief to the communities, and through the Red Cross Society, we are having teams on the ground that are continuing to provide support.
This comes at a time whereby you have just rendered some relief, some help during the July 2021 unrest, and now we are back here in KwaZulu-Natal with these devastating floods. Do you have enough capacity to assist all those who need help?
Yes, fortunately we do. We have contingency plans that we always ensure that we are updating and ensuring that we have sufficient relief items that we can provide at an emergency. As it is right now, we are running from those items that we had kept as part of the contingency plan. But as time goes on, we might be running out of relief items. But also what maybe I'd like to highlight is that the Red Cross Society is embarking on a journey where we are ensuring resilience of communities to disaster management, to disasters, where we are trying now to get the communities to have projects that are going to be self-sustainable and self-providing for the communities.
So here in eThekwini and in KwaZulu-Natal, how long will you be providing this relief for?
Currently, we have planned for 7 days, and then post 7 days, as we are coming towards the end of the 7 days, we are going to be reviewing if there's still a need. We are more than willing to continue until people are sent back to their homes, until the situation is back to normal.
Thank you very much for your time. But that is Siyabonga Hlatshwayo of the Red Cross in KwaZulu-Natal saying, well, they will continue to assist those community members who have been displaced by the devastating floods in KwaZulu-Natal.
Very much. As Pamandla Goke for that update. We've seen the president and his entourage. They've already left in Ntuzuma. And we got to hear earlier from the president. In case you've just joined us, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa at the national level, they're finalizing preparations to declare KwaZulu-Natal a disaster area, and that matter will soon be gazetted. It's devastation all around, the president said. There's no official tally yet at this stage of how many people have died, but the president said certainly it's way more or above 100 people. We had the MEC of Health in KwaZulu-Natal earlier, Onoma Kukusimelana, telling Spamandla that just in eThekwini municipality last night in the mortuaries, they were counting about 253 bodies. So we still have to wait for that final tally. It's not looking good. It's really a big tragedy. It is a national disaster, so to speak, affecting KwaZulu-Natal, because now government is going to marshal all resources at all levels of government, be they local, district, provincial and national, to assist the people of KwaZulu-Natal.